And this is another edition of the ETB Coaches Show, or as I would like to call it, Sunrise with Shirley. Even though it's not exactly sunrise, but still kind of just before noon. But you already know who I am, and head coach Janae, Shirley of the ETBU softball team. You guys picked up another impressive series victory, 30-1 now. And it wasn't, though, as easy as anticipated, matching up with Laterno, who is also a solid team in the ASC. But as a coach, watching your team out there this weekend, what kind of made this series a little different? What made it so difficult matching up with Laterno this week?
Well, we knew going into it that Laterno had been playing very well. They have hit the ball all season, and they have a couple of kids in their lineup that are just really difficult outs. And so we kind of were prepared for that going into it, that there's going to be some runs scored on us. And, I think there's been kind of a standard that's been going forward of us not giving up a whole lot of runs. And so going into that game, we kind of knew we had to have a different mentality and kind of understand that even if they score runs, we still had to continue to move forward. And, and that's exactly what happened. They scored some runs, and our girls did a nice job of kind of bouncing back and competing. And going into that third game, we were really struggling scoring runs, and it kind of seemed that the rain delay helped them refocus and get back after it and, kind of step up.
I was getting ready to say, because there was like an hour rain delay between the 6th and the 7th inning, and all of a sudden, you guys just all of a sudden kind of exploded in the bottom of the 6th, putting up 5 runs. What changed for you guys in that particular game?
Well, I really did not feel like we hit well. We did a really poor job of hitting when we had runners in scoring position early in the game. We left bases loaded a couple times. I think we had bases loaded with 0 outs and ended up not scoring any runs out of that. And so we just did a poor job of executing and, stepping up in those situations. And I think, a little bit, going into that game, they're starting to play scared to lose instead of playing to win. And, that mentality makes it hard to compete, and you put too much pressure on yourself. And so the girls just kind of, they talked about it when we went in the locker room and, decided that that's not how they're gonna play, and that's not what they wanted to do. And so they went out there kind of leaving it all in the field, and whatever happens, but they're not going to, not go down without a fight. And so they did a good job of going out there and coming back and bringing some energy and, executing and doing the things that they needed to do to make Laterno play, and ended up scoring some runs out of it.
Absolutely. And also in the midst of the series, you guys also had your strikeout cancer game, and a very important time for you and for so many others who have relatives and loved ones going through that struggle. So how important is that to kind of highlight that this week and just take the time to kind of remember those who are fighting a very real battle?
Yeah, there's so many players on our team, including myself, that have been affected personally by cancer. And so I think for them, it gives them a real perspective of, they get the opportunity to play every day. And, right now, thankfully, they're all healthy, and it just gives them an opportunity to kind of set aside that day and, play hard for those people who are fighting. And, we're fortunate enough to have something that's really been great happening with our Strikeout Cancer Fund, and we're able to help people in our own ETB community that are battling that. And, that's been something that's blessed a lot of people, and we're continuing to be able to raise money through that. Super thankful for all the coaches this year. Every sport on campus donated some gear for our silent auction, and we made quite a bit of money through that. So we're going to be fortunate to be able to help quite a few more people this year just through that.
You guys did have the silent auction, that's right, and that's also another cool opportunity that goes along with the weekend as well. The other opportunity that also comes along with that is you guys breaking out the pink jerseys. I absolutely love the fact that you guys kind of have the pink and then the navy pants that goes along with that. So with those different color schemes as well, who actually helps to come up with those types of ideas to go along with it?
I don't know. One of those, we wore pink all weekend, and we had a new uniform that we busted out this weekend that the girls really liked, and we wore that one Friday night. And, I think that something that happens with our program is we're very unique in a lot of different ways, and we obviously have a uniform problem. We have a lot of them, but it's neat. It's neat for them to take pride in just everything about our program, from the uniforms down to like where they hang their bags in the locker room. It's just a part of the culture and what they're about. And our girls this year have really done a good job of buying into that, and so we're super thankful for that.
Absolutely. And just really quickly, back to the series. You had several players really step up. Players like Liz Adams finally getting some time, getting in the pinch run and things like that. And Emily DeRamus did a great job in the circle for you guys. How important is that coming into now? You only have 2 or 3 series left, that is, before you close out the season, to have different players to count on as you get into the ASC tournament?
Well, that's been one thing that has been really unique about this team, and is definitely benefited us through the long haul, is like when we've had kids that have been struggling or in a slump or whatever, we've had kids that we've been able to put in that position, or players to put in that position, that have really stepped up and helped us. And, Emily has been super dynamic for us this year. It's kind of a challenge sometimes for us lineup-wise to manage things, because all of our pitchers hit, and Emily plays another position when she's not pitching. And so she did an excellent job of coming in and changing the pace and shutting down that game. And, we rely a lot on Presley and B, and, with Emily and Savannah Buell, like, we really have kind of opportunities to change things up and mix them up, and they really provide a lot of depth for us there. And those kids are spread a little bit thin, especially Emily, because she's practicing a position every day, and she's doing bullpens, and she's hitting and doing all that stuff. And so that's a lot to put on somebody, but she is such a hard worker, and we are just super thankful. She's a great fit for our university and our program, and we're just super thankful to have her in our program.
Absolutely. And you guys' journey continues as you traveling to Abilene, Texas, to take on Hardin Simmons. Is there anything this week, just looking at the team that you're going to face this weekend, or is there a unique challenge that they present that you guys have to be aware of? Is there anything that you've been telling your team, when you face off against Hardin Simmons to be mindful of?
Well, we don't really change our approach with every team that we play. But we do know this year there's just so much more parity in our conference. Everybody is beating everybody, and just across the board, the conference is a lot stronger and a lot more talented. And I think Hardin Simmons is a very different team than they were last year. And they do have some quality pitching, and they've added some quality players. So anytime when you go to somebody else's home, it's an advantage for them. And so we definitely are going to have to play well and, do the little things right. And there was some of those things that we still didn't do right this past weekend. And hopefully over the next couple of days, we'll be able to iron out the kinks and get it taken care of.
Absolutely. And last question for you here today, and probably the most important one. How do we get our hands on a pink shirt?
Pink shirt. Well, we have a ton of them. You just have to contact us, and we will get you set up.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right,
and you can keep up to date with ETBU softball at goetbutigers.com, or follow us on social media at goetbutigers. Marty Robinson, Janae, Shirley. We'll be back with another edition of the ETBU Coaches Show on the other side. Thanks for supporting ETBU Athletics.